Welcome back to the place where masks are shattered, where illusions bleed, and where the truth, the one they fear the most, finally speaks. If you're here, it means you've stopped looking for validation and started becoming the nightmare they thought they'd never have to face. So listen closely, because this is not a speech. This is your resurrection, your reminder that you were never their hero, only their consequence. Imbla, they loved you as long as you were silent, as long as you bowed, smiled, stayed small, stayed agreeable, as long as you didn't ask for too much, didn't burn too bright, didn't stand too tall. They called it help, but it was a leash. They called it love, but it came with conditions. They called you too intense, too driven, too emotional, too much. No, you were never too much. You were simply more than they could control, more than they could use, more than they could quietly destroy. Imbla, you tried to be good. You tried to be patient. You tried to be their light in the dark. But they didn't want light. They wanted someone to stand beneath them and apologize for shining. They wanted a savior they could manipulate, a hero who would suffer quietly so they wouldn't have to. But something inside you snapped, didn't it? That final betrayal, that final silence, that final slap disguised as advice. And you woke up, not angry, not bitter, awakened. Imbla, because now you know, you were never their hero, you were their mirror, and when they saw you, they saw everything they could never be. Your strength, it exposed their weakness. Your ambition, it embarrassed their laziness. Your resilience, it reminded them of their excuses. And your power, it became their threat. Imbla, what did they do? They tried to silence you, dismiss you, call you the problem, paint you as the villain. But here's the darkest truth they'll never admit. You became the villain in their story because you refused to die in yours. Imbla, so let them talk, let them twist, let them call you names in rooms you'll never walk into again, because those rooms were never your kingdom. They were cages. Let them fear your silence. Let them flinch when your name is spoken. Let them see what happens when the one they underestimated becomes the one they can never escape. Imbla, this isn't about revenge. It's not even about proving anything anymore. This is about becoming everything they prayed you'd never survive long enough to be. Imbla, you are not their hero, because heroes play by rules, heroes wait for permission, heroes bleed so others can sleep. But you bled and they watched. You broke and they blamed you. You rose and they vanished. So no, you are not their hero. See what happens when the one they underestimated becomes the one they can never escape. This isn't about revenge. It's not even about proving anything anymore. This is about becoming everything they prayed you'd never survive long enough to be. You are not their hero, because heroes played by rules. Heroes wait for permission. Heroes bleed so others can sleep. But you bled and they watched. You broke and they blamed you. You rose and they vanished. So no, you are not their hero. You are what rises when their lies collapse. You are what survives when their comfort dies. You are what's left when the false gods fall. You are their consequence. You don't owe them understanding. You don't owe them grace. You don't owe them explanations for the fire in your veins. You are done shrinking to fit inside their smallness. Done explaining why you refuse to be manipulated. Done apologizing for outgrowing the people who fed you poison and called it love. They wanted you to be a memory. Now, you are a warning. They wanted you to disappear. Now, you are the shadow that haunts every place they told you you'd never reach. You are the consequence of their betrayal, of their cowardice, of their selfishness. Let your success bleed loudly. Let your silence echo. Let your power crash through their illusions like a meteor from the void. And when they see you rise, not smiling, not seeking peace, but carved in stone, burning with purpose, surrounded by storms, they'll know. They'll know exactly what they created. Not a hero, not a villain, but the ending they earned. So stop running. Stop explaining. Stop hoping they'll understand. They never will, because they built their world on the belief that you would stay broken. But here you are, standing, unapologetic, unforgiving, unshakable. You are what happens when the chosen one becomes the cursed. You are what happens when silence learns to scream. You are what happens when the soul they left for dead builds a throne from the ashes. You are not their hero. You are the price they pay for thinking you were disposable. You are what returns when the storm has passed, and all that's left is justice. So wear your scars like armor. Let your eyes carry every memory, every betrayal, every lie. Let your footsteps feel like fate, and your presence like prophecy. Because you don't rise for them anymore. You don't rise to be liked. You don't rise to fit in. You rise because falling again is not an option. You rise to remind them what happens when they throw away the one thing that could have saved them. You were never their hero, only their consequence. And now they get to live with that forever.